sport itself is you can tell by how far in advance it's listed on the sports books. So the Super Bowl, it's all the way out there. You can bet it the second the season ends. And in UFC, we have one of these events right here. Because when we were previewing UFC 253, when I was looking around at UFC 252 even, I saw lines for this main event, UFC 254. We've got Khabib versus Gaethje. And, we've got you covered here on the Props Network. We've got some great blogs coming out all the time from our Tennessee two punch. And here's half of that tag team, Connor Larsen, coming to you live. Thanks for joining me, brother.
Oh, thanks for having me, man. I'm excited.
Yeah, it's good to meet you electronically. I think I have been making money on your picks most of the summer, actually.
Yeah, we've been on a good run. I've been watching men in bathing suits fight all year, and it's been great.
Yeah, I have that too, but it's just some Greg Louganis parody films I'm into.
It's unrelated to the UFC.
So yeah, this is a big one. I will be watching on a illegal Reddit stream as Michigan plays Minnesota. So what can I look for in this main event?
Yeah, this is probably the biggest fight of the year. It's Khabib, who is undisputed, undefeated, and he's undefeated. This isn't like boxing where there's lots of undefeated guys. Nobody's undefeated except Khabib. So Khabib is going to take on Justin Gaethje, who is a guy who kind of fights like a video game fighter. He just goes forward. He throws hands. He talks about either he's going to get a knockout or they're going to knock him out. So it's a super exciting stylistic clash. And I think it's going to play out not predictably, but along one of two paths. So I think there's some value for bets in this one.
And just for context, like Khabib, most places he's been a money line of like varying from like minus 350 to minus 370.
Yeah, he's a big favorite, and he's justifiably, he's never lost, and he's beaten Conor McGregor. He's beaten big names. But I think the reason UFC fans are so excited about this fight is Justin Gaethje stylistically matches up in a really good way with him. He matches up in the way that if you're going to beat Khabib, which we don't know if anyone can, that's probably the way you're going to do it.
And so if you were to back Gaethje, would you take him as a straight underdog money line, or is there a specific method and payout you would kind of target with this?
Yeah, with Gaethje, I would definitely bet him. I wouldn't bet the money line. I would bet the method of victory, which is going to be a knockout, because Khabib takes people down against the fence. He grinds them out. He submits them. Gaethje is kind of purely a striker, although he was a collegiate wrestler, which is why people are excited, because he might have the ability to keep Khabib off of him. But Gaethje's knocked out everybody he's fought in the UFC, or he's been knocked out. So this fight's almost definitely not going to go to a decision, and it's probably not. He's not going to submit Khabib. No one's going to submit Khabib. So I think if you want to bet on Gaethje, the smart way to do it is by knockout, which is hovering around plus 400.
Yeah, I'm on DraftKings. I see the money line is minus 270. I see the knockout bet to be plus 350. So you're getting an extra. If you put down 100, you're getting an extra 80 back. That's probably worth it if you're that confident the fight will break that way.
Yeah, I think that's the way to go. He's not going to. It would be shocking if he submitted him. I think him by submission is around plus 3,000, and there's good reason for that. If the fight goes Gaethje's way, it's going to go his way because he gets on Khabib on the feet and knocks him out.
Yeah, so that makes sense. So if you like that, there's no in-fight parlays with UFC, are there? I know they're just getting added with NFL and NCAA.
You can bet. I mean, if you see you can bet live. If the fight is trending one way or the other, you can bet. The people will shift and become bigger favorites. And I think this fight will kind of be. We'll know pretty early. Is it going to be a typical Khabib fight where he just dominates and looks invincible, or is Gaethje the guy to get through and keep it standing and knock him out?
Yeah. So was there anything you can tie into like an under it that the under of 4.5 is minus 190, the over is 155? Would you go anything in that direction?
I mean, if it's going to happen, it probably is going to happen early, because the way Khabib fights, he wrestles people, he grinds them out. They get more and more tired, which makes them less likely to have the explosive power to knock them out. There's a fight ends in under 60 seconds prop bet where the value
is that's fun.
Huge. If you think that Gaethje is the thing that's so exciting about him is he comes forward, he throws huge strikes, and he's knocked some people out early. Knocked out James Vick early and Edson Barbosa. If he could do that. The value's there. I still like knockout better because I think there's a better chance it happens later in the fight, but there is some value if you want to do that.
And so in terms of Gaethje, I mean, he's a great matchup for Khabib, but like Is there any reason you can dissuade me from doing a large money line play on Khabib?
No, I mean Khabib is as advertised. He's a dominant fighter. If you want to throw some money on him, it makes sense. I think there's smarter ways to do it than just a straight up money line. I think if you're going to bet Khabib, I mean his fights kind of play out the same way every fight. So if you watch him, he gets people down, he starts attacking them.
I'm probably going to bet Khabib, so let's make this juice a little bit better for me, baby. Give me that pulp.
Yeah, well, here's the thing: if you're going to bet Khabib, he's not going to knock him out probably because he gets him down and then he keeps going for position over submission. He's trying to do the smart thing and he's kind of drowning these guys. And then when these guys try to explode to get back to their feet, he chokes them out because they make a mistake. So with Khabib, if I was going to bet on him, I would bet him to win by submission because his fights, he's not a one-punch knockout artist, and Gaethje is tough as hell. So I think the best way to do it if you're going to bet Khabib is you can get him by submission for plus 150, which is much better than you're going to get his money line, and you can actually get the fight to end by submission for either fighter for plus 150.
Ooh,
so
wow.
I mean, Gaethje's probably not going to do it, but you might as well just add him in there.
And earlier, you mentioned that Gaethje's status as a college wrestler was like going to make him hard to submit. Are you worried about that when you place this one, or are you just like, nah, Khabib's the man. He's got his ass.
Yeah, I mean, college wrestling's big. Wrestling's probably the best skill you can have in the UFC, but Khabib is like, I mean, he's not an Olympian, but he's probably the top grappler in the sport. He has wrestling that's specific to MMA. He uses the cage beautifully, which is a whole element that they don't have in college wrestling. Gaethje's one of the better wrestlers he's fought, which makes this exciting because he's also a super violent striker. But Khabib is kind of, until we see otherwise, he's sort of on another level with his wrestling.
All right. So what about this one? I'm kind of a bitch when it comes to placing odds. I don't like to do those big payout ones. What about knockout, submission, or DQ? Khabib minus 110. That line's according to DraftKings.
I don't see Khabib getting DQ'd. He's a pretty strict, honorable guy, and he doesn't throw a lot of crazy knees or the things that get you DQ'd. I think you're probably better off just doing submission because Gaethje is I think if Gaethje's getting knocked, he's on the ground, he's getting pounded out, which would lead to the ref stopping it via a KO. He'll try to explode and get back to his feet, and that's where you get choked out. So I like the submission bet for Khabib, and I like the knockout bet for Gaethje.
Done. I am on it. And before we let you go, is there anything else on this card that might be advantageous towards our degenerate gamblers?
Yeah, if you want to start gambling early, like first fight,
there's a fight that they booked.
Yeah, you got to bet the whole thing. Why not? There's a fight between Jan Kudalaba and Magomed Ankalaev. A lot of vowels, and it's a rematch. The first fight, Kudalaba pretended like he was getting knocked out to try and kind of rope-a-dope him. The ref accidentally called the fight, so there's all this bad blood. It should be, even if it's not a great bet, it's going to be an awesome fight to watch because these guys hate each other. I like the value in Kudalaba. He's the underdog, but they're both huge dudes who just swing recklessly. And when it comes to that, you might as well take the value in the other guy because it only takes one punch. They're both huge. Ankalaev is probably a better fighter, but Kudalaba could catch him, and that'd be my sneaky bet of the fight.
Well, that sounds great. And yeah, as soon as I let you off the air, not only am I going to eat this chicken parm, but I'm going to just Google that video of the dude being accidentally DQ'd.
Oh, it's
amazing to me.
If you want to laugh, just watch that and then watch him scare the ref. There's nothing better than a ref calling a fight on a guy who he thinks is injured and is not injured. That's a great, because you just get to watch the ref be like, he might beat me up now. Now I've trained him to beat me up.
Yeah, I mean, if that happens, I think you could go at the ref a little bit. I mean, we saw Jamie Collins, he headbutt a referee in NFL Week 1. You're at least justified for that.
Yeah, I mean, he got a helmet on. I don't know what he was supposed to do besides headbutt the ref, so I support Jamie Collins.
Yeah, I support all these guys. We need to attack more referees. We need to back the Khabib submission, and we're going to hedge that with the Gaethje knockout.
The Gaethje knockout is a beautiful. I think there's a lot of value there. I think fingers crossed. I think he's going to be the guy to knock off Khabib, and I really like the Gaethje by knockout bet.
Okay, you know what? I'm gonna abandon Khabib. I'm gonna take your advice. I will get over my bitch ass tendencies and get that juice. Plus,
it's the patriotic bet. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be an awesome fight. It's let's go Gaethje.
Let's go Gaethje. All right. Well, thanks for hopping on. You have a great rest of your day.
Me, Joel. All right. See you guys.
All right. Give Donnie a swirly.
I'll give one.
All right. Later.
See ya.